So you'd done some courses with us,
Yeah.
but you decided to go on the accreditation program. Why?
Why did you put yourself through that?
Why I put yourself
Yes.
through even more.
Um, because I knew a few people. I think I've got a colleague who had done this already, and I'd seen her teach, and I thought she was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd been on your course and learned all this stuff. And every time I come on the courses, I feel frustrated in a way because you don't tell us how to do stuff, and that I'm not very good at trusting my own instincts, and that is something I've come to learn this year. You don't tell us what to do, though. You tell us what's out there, and what you believe might be working at the moment in the new science, and then you kind of help us get an idea, and then you leave us to it.
I like that. I think you've
Yeah.
framed it very well.
Yeah.
We give you the tools to think, and
You do,
that's
yeah.
so that you
And-
make your own decisions,
Yeah.
and we give you strategies for putting it into practice.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
But also, we give you the tools to develop yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's completely what's happened, because I was just speaking to Anne, one of your
Associate trainers.
associate trainers
Yeah.
before, and speaking out loud, you realise, oh my word, the change is huge for me, because I fought it for, I needed answers. I needed to be told how and what and why and when, because I was used to that. I've had classical training where I've been told how and why and what and when. Then I went on to a different type of training, which was also very how, why, what and when. And I've not really had training that lets you do your own opinion, and lets you trust your own gut instinct. And this is the first time that I've come across that. So it was hard for me because I'm not the most confident person in the world, and I needed to really work on that and trust myself and find what I love about what you guys do is you help us find our fall areas.
Falling off a log.
Yeah, so I mean, what you're talking about is this thing that we call certainty, isn't it? That it's natural for teachers to look for certainty because we want to do the best job that we can. I mean, it's actually very human to look for certainty.
Yes.
And in some ways, what we do on this course is we challenge your certainties. That can be quite tough, but it's also
It's a huge growth point.
It's a huge growth point, and you come out of it. I can see how happy you are. You're actually shining with joy, which is
I
fabulous.
am. I am. I'm coming up with things. Like I feel like I've got the freedom now because I do have this very graphic imagination with, with how to describe things to my singers. And I'm coming out. I've gone and bought myself a whiteboard, which is a first, because we've been given one at my place of work, and I love the whiteboard. So I am up and down all the time with my marker pens, drawing things on the whiteboard, and you come up with the most crazy things, but people get it. People understand where you're coming from, and I'm really loving that part of the journey, inventing my own ideas, based on what I've learned to be correct at the moment.
And for us, that's ideal. You're in an ideal place because you've got the deep understanding of how things work. But then you're dealing with the person in front of you and going, I know how they work, but I can explain it to you like this because that's going to make sense to you. And there's a tremendously creative thing in there. I love that.
Yeah. I'm always using things. I'm always using props, apps on my gadgets, the whiteboard. I'm very sort of multidisciplined with how I teach now. It's not just this is how you do it, copy me. It's lots and lots of different kind of ways to describe something in case it just happens to twig for that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I love about it is also that now you're able to tap back into your instincts for music that you've had for years, because now you can go, that's why that's there, or that's how it works.
It's wonderful. It's amazing, actually, because for years I didn't it all was so boxed, and not everything matched what I used to be able to do when I was growing up, and the sounds I used to be able to do, that they didn't match. And it wasn't just either this sound or this sound. It's a mixture of things, and the whole gestalt idea of being a group of ideas that come together to give you the whole.
Yep.
I feel like I'm viewing differently now. I'm seeing more. One of the things you talk about is macro and micro.
Yes.
And I'm way more macro than I used to be.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a joy now. It does feel like people leave the room happy because I don't know, maybe I'm a bit infectious with it, but I just get really enthusiastic when I'm teaching, you know, trying to sort of get across these ideas that I've got because I know it's going to work for that person. Yeah.
That's so interesting, Sam, because actually I think of you as a macro person because I think of the Gestalt thing that we talked about, which is you hear something, you take the whole thing in. And actually you have found it quite difficult to break it all down because you just go, I do it, and this is how it is, and I do it, and this is how it is. And now you're able to go, actually, I can take it in, I do it, and now I can analyze
reverse engineer.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like that's what you're doing, Sam.
Yeah.
I definitely, I listen differently.
Yes.
You know, I hear differently now. And I think what the difference is now that I've trained with you guys, I hear, maybe it's that I hear more macro than micro.
Yeah.
And that's nice. It's like opened my ears again to listening to a finished result and a whole rather than bits.
Oh yes, yes. It's so easy when you go into the micro thing that's all you ever focus on, and you lose the joy of performance and you lose the joy of the whole.
Yeah.
But bringing the two together, and also, like you said, you know, I'm very hot on this macro micro thing, where if you as a teacher know what it is that you're focusing on, then it's like, no, I need to listen to the whole thing first.
Yeah.
That's macro. Now I can start to break it down. That's the micro. Okay, we've done the breakdown. Now let's put it back together again. That's the macro again.
I definitely agree that you should always hear somebody sing their song. I always let people sing their song when they first come in the room, because you don't know what's going to happen. They might be, you know, they might not be singing great for the first 2 pages, but then something might happen, and so I always let them sing the song and then know where to go from there. You know, rather than going straight in. In fact, I always ask if they're warm, you know, when they arrive, and I usually ask them to be warm, because the clients I work with now, they know how to do that. And then I just go straight in with the song, and then I start to work up what needs to be done, you know, depending on what needs fixing for that day or that song or that genre or whatever.
So important, because you're working with the singer in the room. You're not working with this mythical singer who may be out there somewhere. It's like, here's the person in front of me. Here's what they're doing today. Here's where they are today. Let's work with you today.